Millions of people may soon face serious food insecurity because of the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Analysts warn loss of exports from the war-torn country will be felt around the world. This week on 60 Minutes, Scott Pelley spoke to the head of the UN's World Food Program about the ripple effects.
Ukraine is the breadbasket of the world. They grow enough food to feed 400 million people. Well, that's gone. You're already seeing fuel pricing spike, food pricing spike, cost of shipping spiking. It's already creating havoc for the poorest of the poor around the world.
Anna Borshchevskaya is a senior fellow at the Washington Institute for Near East Policy, focusing on Russia's policy toward the Middle East. And she's also the author of a recent book, Putin's War in Syria. Thank you so much for joining us. So we have been talking about the fact that Ukraine provides the world with a lot of wheat, but it's not just the wheat. It also provides the world with a lot of fertilizer. And when you have a shortage of both things, it becomes this cycle where even other areas of the world that may be able to provide wheat can't grow it because they don't have the fertilizer that they need, or the fertilizer is too expensive. So can we talk about, what it is that Ukraine sort of provides to the world and why this is such a pressing crisis right now?
Sure. What Ukraine provides to the world, as you said, is a lot more than just wheat. Now, of course, wheat is a top commodity, but it's also a number of other key food staples, such as corn, barley, something called meslan, which is a mixture of wheat and rye. Ukraine is also a big vegetable oil producer. And of course, then there's the issue of fertilizer that you bring up. Not only is Ukraine the top exporter of these goods, but so is Russia. And when you put these two together, you're really having a nexus of a major food crisis that is going to have ripple effects throughout the world. In fact, that's already happening.
And Anna, you believe that analysts are actually underestimating the full scope of the impact that the war will have on the food situation. Explain why you believe that.
Yes, I believe that because when we look at the war in Ukraine, we're really looking at protracted war at this stage. And when you look at the parts of Ukraine that Russia is especially trying to take over, those are parts of eastern and southern Ukraine. Those are some of Ukraine's key agricultural areas. In fact, there were reports just days ago that Ukrainian farmers are donning bulletproof vests in order to plant crops. And the issue with crops, again, to go back to the earlier question, it's not just a matter of putting seed in the ground, right? If you need fertilizer, you need to treat it, you need to make sure that you watch the crop in order to yield it. And then there's the issue of transportation. You cannot do that effectively in a war situation. And when you're going to have a nexus of rising energy prices, not just oil, not just gas, but also diesel, which fuels trucks and other major modes of transportation, again, specifically for food crops, you're going to have inflationary pressures across countries that are going to perhaps temporarily stop exports of other key staples to protect their own countries from inflation. So you're going to have a nexus of all sorts of activity in the Middle East in particular that is especially dependent on wheat and other crops from Russia and Ukraine. You may very well face riots and potentially refugee flows that are going to further destabilize Europe.
I think you brought up something really, really good, because it's not just about not having access to food, which is certainly an issue, right? But it's also about kind of the echo from that when you're talking about countries that are already a little bit unstable. I just recently went to Peru, and there were a lot of strikes there. They're striking over the price of diesel, but they're also striking over the price of fertilizer. And Peru is a pretty stable country. So when you look at other countries that were already sort of on the edge or on the bubble, not having access to food has the possibility of tipping them over the edge into instability.
That's exactly right. And the Middle East in particular is a prime target for this type of instability. We worry, for one, because this has already happened in the region during the Arab Spring, and another because the Middle East is so vulnerable to these pressures, more so than other regions.
So what happens if Russia succeeds in gaining control of Ukraine's farmlands?
Well, in the short term, it's clear that at this stage, we're seeing Russia conducting a targeted campaign to destroy Ukrainian farmlands. But in the long term, if Russia gains control of these lands, it could actually better position itself in the world's wheat and other top agricultural food market. And what that means is Putin will gain another lever of pressure that he will able to use as leverage to press for other concessions, and also position Russia as again an important player in the Middle East in terms of food markets. So you're talking about a situation where Russia could gain yet another advantage, which would be incredibly tragic given the fact that it has started an illegal war of aggression against its peaceful neighbor. And unless Putin gets a fundamental loss, he can use this protracted war to basically, again, press for advantages.
So then can NATO step in here? There are a number of wheat-producing countries in NATO.
Yes, and in fact, NATO should, I would argue, step in here because, as you said exactly, a number of key wheat producers are within NATO. NATO should look at collective action. President Biden has recently announced that he's giving aid, unprecedented amounts of aid, and that, of course, is important. But we need to look beyond aid into increasing production, looking to offset transportation costs, all these other inflationary pressures. Again, this entire nexus of pressures that is going to create higher food prices and food shortages.
Anna, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.